Are you really here? Have you ever had a conversation where someone was clearly hearing your words, but somehow they were not really with you? And maybe the uncomfortable part is, we all do this. We are in the room, but not fully there. We listen, but already prepare our answer. We sit with someone, but part of us is in the next meeting, the next message, the next thing we need to do. And sometimes we even do this with our own life. So today I want to ask a simple question. Are you really here? Welcome to Your Mason, your space to pause, to calm down, reconnect to your roots, awaken your spirit, and remember what truly matters. This podcast is called Your Mason for a reason. I believe you are naturally creative, resourceful, and whole. You're not a problem to be fixed. Even when life is messy, even when you feel lost, there is wisdom in you. And today's topic sounds simple, but I think it is actually quite deep. Presence. Really being here. Not in a perfect meditation kind of way, not as another thing we need to perform or to get right. More in a very human way. Am I actually here with this person? Am I here with this meal? Am I with this place? Or am I with myself? Because I notice in myself that presence does not happen automatically. Just because my body is somewhere does not mean my attention is there too. And maybe that is the real question. Where is my attention? Today, I want to explore what changes when we stop running on automatic and start choosing where our attention lives. I'm Jorma. I'm a coactive coach building my own practice, and I've worked in corporate for more than 20 years. And today, we are looking at one of the most generous things we can offer to ourselves, to another person, and to this moment. Our real attention. If you are listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or YouTube, hit follow. It helps more people to find this space to pause. Thank you for being here. So let's pause and look at this together. I want to share something personal from my recent trip to Japan. There was so much to take in. New places, new streets, new temples, train stations, food, smells, people, all these small wonderful details everywhere around me. And I noticed something quite quickly while I was there. It is very possible to be in an amazing place like that and still not really be there. I could walk through a beautiful street but already think about where I need to go next. I could sit in front of a meal of a wonderful ramen bowl and think about taking a perfect photo. Or I could visit a special place and compare it with the place before. Or plan the next one already. So I was there, but not really there. And what I noticed is that it is not only a travel thing. This is an everyday thing. And because I noticed this in myself, I started a small routine. Whenever I arrived somewhere new, or when something felt special, a meal, a temple, a view or a street, even just a quiet little moment, I stopped for a few seconds and breathed in. I breathed in the moment, and I took one moment more to be grateful. Nothing big, nothing dramatic. I didn't make it a ceremony, but I stopped and let the moment land. I listened to the sound around me. I looked at what was actually there. The people walking by, the light, the movement, the smell of the food, the quietness in between everything. And what I noticed is when I did this, the moment became different. It was not just something I consumed. It became something I actually received. And maybe that is the difference. I can collect experiences, or I can really enter them. I can take the photo and still make sure I actually make a memory. And for me, this little routine became a way of asking myself, Jorma, are you really here? Not just standing here, not just seeing this place, but are you here with your attention, with your breath, with your heart? Because I could be in Japan and still be somewhere else in my mind. And I can also be in a very ordinary moment, drinking tea, walking down a street, listening to someone, and suddenly feel very alive simply because I came back. That is what I mean when I say presence is a choice. It is not about having more time. It is about where I place the time I have. And I'm still learning this. I forget it all the time. I drift, I plan, I reach out for the next thing. Or I go back in my head. And then I remember, stop, breathe, be grateful, come back. And that is the practice of recovering for me. So let's bring this into everyday life. Your attention is one of the most powerful things you have. And most of us give it away all day long without noticing. In conversations, for example, we often think we are listening, but actually we are preparing our answer. We are judging. We are comparing. We are thinking I had something similar. We are trying to fix. We are trying to be helpful. Or maybe we are trying to sound smart or safe or in control. And then we wonder why we feel disconnected. Something I keep coming back to in coaching and in life is this idea of where your attention lives. The first place is inside yourself. Your thoughts, your reactions, your feelings, your inner voice. And this is not wrong. We need this. It helps us to know what is happening in us. But if I stay only there, I'm not really listening to you. I am listening to myself while you are talking. The second place is with the person in front of you. Not just their words, but them as a human being. Who is this person right now? What are they carrying? What matters to them? What is underneath the story? And this is where people start to feel seen. Because I'm not just waiting for my turn. I am with them. And then there is a third place. The whole moment. The room. The silence. The shift in energy. The thing that is not being said. The feeling that something important just happened. And this is not magic. It is just presence. It is listening with more of yourself. And I notice how much changes in a relationship when I become more aware of where my attention actually is. I remember a conversation where someone came to me and I thought they needed advice. So I was listening but already preparing the useful thing to say, kind of as a consultant. And then at some point I stopped. I stopped trying to be useful. I stopped trying to be clever. I just listened. And the whole conversation changed. Not because I said something brilliant, but because I was finally actually there. Sometimes people do not need our solutions first. Sometimes they need to feel that someone is really with them. And before we go deeper, I want to pause here. Sometimes when we slow down and really listen to ourselves, to someone else, we touch something tender. Emotion, sadness, grief, loneliness, stress, something we have pushed away maybe for a while. So please take care of yourself and your surrounding. If something feels overwhelming, unsafe, or even too much to hold alone, reach out to a trusted professional or a crisis support service in your country. This podcast is a space for reflection. It is not a replacement for mental health support when deeper care is needed. I will put a resource in the show notes. Thank you for taking care of yourself and others around you. So, I want to give you 3 simple invitations for this week. First, most of us are reacting, not choosing. Our inner noise is loud. Planning, judging, comparing, defending, preparing, disappearing. It just runs. And the practice is not to get rid of all of that. That would be impossible. The practice is to notice it, to catch yourself and ask, where is my attention right now? Is it with my fear? Is it with my need to be right? Is it with my phone? Is it already in the next thing? And then comes the choice. Where do I want my attention to be now? The second invitation is maybe the best gift is not always your answer. Many of us try to help by fixing. I know this in myself. I want to support. I want to offer ideas, solutions, perspectives. And sometimes that is useful, but not always. Sometimes the more powerful thing is to be fully interested. Not interesting, interested. Interested in the person. Interested in what matters. Interested in what they are really saying. Interested in what they are not saying yet. And that is a different quality of presence. And the third invitation is coming back is the practice. You will drift. I will drift. We all drift. So the goal is not to be perfectly present all the time. That would just create another pressure. The practice is noticing when you have left and then coming back. Back to the conversation. Back to your body. Back to the meal. Back to the place. Back to the person in front of you. Or even back to yourself. And coming back is not a failure. Coming back is the practice of recovery. So, let's take a moment to pause and bring one conversation or relationship to mind. Someone you have been with recently, where maybe you were physically there, but not fully present. No judgment, just notice. And take a slow breath. Where was my attention in that moment? Was I with them? Or was I more inside my own thoughts? And take another breath. What was I trying to do? Was I trying to fix something, prove something, say the smart thing, protect myself? Or was I simply there? And now imagine the same person again. What would change if next time you placed a little more of your attention on them? Not to solve them, not to perform presence, just to be a little more here. And take another breath. And now, think of one ordinary moment this week. A coffee, a meal, a walk, a message, a goodbye, a moment before entering your home. What if you stopped for 3 seconds, breathed in, looked around, and allowed yourself to receive the moment before rushing into the next one? And take one last breath. And quietly say to yourself, my attention is a choice. My presence can be a gift. And I can always come back. And that's the pause. I was sitting with this question myself during that trip through Japan. And the answer kept changing. Sometimes it was the place. Sometimes it was the person I was with. Sometimes it was just myself. So here's the question for your week. Where is your attention needed? Not because something is broken, but because something matters. Or even simpler, who or what is asking for you to really be there? Maybe it's a person. Maybe it's your body. Maybe it's your child, your partner, or your friend. Maybe it's your work. Maybe it's the place you are in right now. Maybe it's your own life which you have been rushing through for a while. Presence is not something we get right once and then have forever. It is something we return to again and again. And during that time in Japan, the practice was very simple. I stopped, breathe, be grateful, and come back. And maybe that is enough for this week. Choose one conversation, one meal, one moment, and really be there. If this pause supported you, follow the podcast or share it with someone who may need a moment to come back today. I see you in the next pause. Because sometimes the shift is not in saying the perfect thing. Sometimes the shift is simply being here, a little more honestly. I'm Jorma, and you're amazing. Take care of yourself. Bye.